Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Alexander, for your nice introduction. I'm Jaap Hogeling from the Netherlands, and I'm chair of the CEN TC 371, the Program Committee on EPBD in CEN. And CEN is the European Organization for Standardization. We, as CEN, received from the European Commission a mandate to develop standards that will support the implementation of the Energy Performance of Buildings Directive, which is a directive that is important for all the member states in Europe because they have to follow the directive on energy performance in buildings. And we developed this program in CEN as a second generation program based on earlier EPBD standards developed a few years ago. So first I will tell you something about the results of phase 1 and then what we are currently doing in phase 2 of this project. How does it work? I'm sorry,
Annette, you should switch the slides since they are being shown by your computer, I believe. Yes?
You have to switch the slides showing in your computer. Okay.
All presentations
Okay.
will be shown by your computer. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back.
So the results from the first phase, I'm sorry for this technical delay, is 4 products, the overarching standards and the connected technical report, and also 2 technical specifications that are connected to it and that are developed to support the standard developers in CEN to develop the other standards. And a software tool I will say a few words on later. It doesn't work. So the current status of the overarching standards is the inquiry closed in October last year, and we hope to finish all the work to decide on the overarching standard in April in the TC. Most of the member states agreed on the standard. There were some no votes and some conditional yes votes, but we are sure we can overcome all these difficulties by indicating more clearly that the annex on the default values and options are informative, and the support for more visibility of the monthly calculation procedure and more clarification on the partitioning and assessment boundaries. The standard has also a technical report connected to it. That is the case for all the EPBD standards, because standards should be just normative, and all explanation and consideration, justifications and background information shall be included in a technical report. And that will be the case for all the EPBD standards. The current status of the standard is it is almost finished. All comments have been resolved. The clarification justifications will be included in the technical report, and both drafts are available for those who have access to the CEN Live link. The next CEN TC 371 meeting will decide for formal vote of the overarching standards and acceptance of the technical report and the 2 technical specifications. Now I will say a few words on phase 2. In phase 2 of the project, we will improve the rest of the other EPBD standards on basis of these 4 deliverables I just mentioned, and also information of the EU member state regulators based on the communication with the liaison committee in Europe. And the actual revisions of the standards will be carried out by the 5 related CEN technical committees. The program is about 100 work items, so 50 standards, 50 technical reports. Some may be merged, but this is more or less the program. For all standards, we also have an Excel file to report the in- and output data and to verify the described calculation procedures if they are correct and if the interconnection between the referred standard is working. We started this phase 2 of this EPBD project in July, and the first drafts are currently ready in the different TCs, and in May we expect that all drafts can be accepted for inquiry. In September, October, we expect publication for inquiry, so then this majority of the standards, about 50 standards, will go out for inquiry and should be reacted on. This will lead to possible finish of inquiry stage around April next year, and before the end of next year, we expect that all inquiry comments can be resolved and formal vote versions to be ready. After publishing and voting, we expect that during 2016, all EPBD standards will be ready and available as EN standards or EN ISO standards. I'm sorry, the slide, okay. The coordination, as I said, is done by this coordination group of the task leaders in the 5 different TCs, and the main schedule is, as I presented earlier in other occasions like this, the 5 TCs have their own task and responsibility, but the work is coordinated by the task leaders in group in 371. These teams in the different TCs are also connected to teams on ISO level, because one of the aims of this project is also to bring all our experience and expertise to ISO level and to agree at the same time, or perhaps a little bit later if that's not successful, on an EN ISO standard. And as you see on the right side of the screen, that all this work is supported by the European mandate from the Commission. Where needed, additional dissemination action to secure exchange of preliminary drafts between different working groups and TCs has to be organized. As you saw in the last slide, that we have this horizontal coordination, but not only through the task leaders, we expect also experts working on the different standards to be aware of the content of standards they relate to. And this is a quite unique situation that preliminary drafts will be exchanged between CEN technical committees before they are already on voting level. There is also a software tool developed to support the development and the future use of the EPBD standards by the software developers. This tool is to demonstrate and to validate the formulas in the standard, but also the interconnection procedures of all in- and output files of the EPBD standards. The tool finally will also facilitate the software developers to interpret the calculation procedures given in the various standards in a correct way. And I illustrated it a little bit like this. It is defining the data exchange in a way that it also offers a clear interpretation for future software developers, but at the same time checking all the calculation procedures in the standard and showing that the formulas in the standards, they work. So it is the input data. Oh, sorry. No, I lost it. Oh, I cannot. The input data from the EPBD standards could be product data or boundary conditions. It could also be the case that the output data from the standards are used for other EPBD standards, and it could also be the case that they are already at the final results as input on the overarching level to express the energy performance of the building. And that should be clearly defined, and that's the reason that we connect these standards with these Excel files. Another few words on building and system energy performance. They are also depending on the energy performance of products in relation. There is a relation with work in Europe on the Eco-Design Directive, where we develop standard procedures for expressing the energy performance of products. By developing system standards, we have to communicate with these product TCs. Requirements on product data needed for our building and system descriptions are important, and we have to be sure that the product standards deliver these data in a correct way, and we have to convince product committees to refer to our system description to use these procedures for expressing the energy performance of their products, and to check if control systems, auxiliary systems, and others are included in the energy performance of buildings, of products declaration. And a few words on the CEN ISSO interaction, an active process of interaction, as I already said, through the joint working group on overarching level, and for the other standards via different working groups in on ISO level in ISO TC 163 and 205. We share preliminary drafts, we share expert teams, and with an ultimate goal to reach and agree on ISO standards finally. A challenge, I agree, but given the geographic and differences in the building sector globally, and the time schedule we have in Europe to finalize the standards. Well, this concludes my presentations. Thank you very much for your attention.